The Maybank holiday weekend at Alton Park always brings out a huge crowd, and today is no exception. We're here for round 3 of the Hyundai Heavy Industries British F1 Sidecar Championship in association with the Molson Group. The previous round took place at Brands Hatch and was a 2-race affair. The first race, though, was action-packed with drama, and the red flag came out after Rod Robinson and Helen Deely somersaulted their outfit on a substance deposited by the light blue outfit. You could see it spraying out of Gary Bryan. Robinson crashed heavily, Helen Deely fortunately without serious injury. Front runner Tony Brown and Sam Christie also fell victim to the treacherous conditions and put it into the barrier. The second race was won in good style, though, by Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, who now sit on top of the table with 65 points. Just look at that. Lovelock moves into second, ahead of the Birchells. Kershaw's been consistent all season. Peach, Guy, Brown, had he not hit the barrier, that would have been a different story. Gilbert, Reeves, and there you see it. Ben Holland down in 11th. McLaurin, Ben Bygrave, he must go better soon. In 15th, Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes, aren't they going well? Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, championship leaders on the AOS B. Weiser Kawasaki. Here with Tommy Hill, the B. Weiser Kawasaki team manager. You've just picked up a trophy here. Tell us about this award, Ricky.
Well, basically, it's an award, another award we got this year for good effort, I suppose. Means well to us, really, to be fair, Barry. Not just the results on the track, but off the track as well. So brilliant.
Ryan, your season has really taken off since being linked up with B. Weiser. How do you feel?
I feel really comfortable about it. I think we've just come as approach to what we've always done every year. Go out, enjoy racing, and have a laugh. And, you know, coincidentally, we're just enjoying ourselves and going fast.
Tommy Hill, former Superbike champion. Has this team lived up to your expectations?
100%. You know, we can't take the glory for what they've done. I mean, you know, talking to them early days last year, they wanted to raise the profile and they have, you know, on the track and off the track. So all credit to them and well done for winning the KGN award.
The profile in the paddock is great. They've got a super turnout, good hospitality, proper truck. It's really not missing anything.
No, they're definitely putting the pressure on us as well. We need to up our game. You know, them, you know, winning races and you know, winning the World Championship race the other weekend was fantastic for everyone involved. So, you know, we just hope that year one is sort of set in stone. We can move on and progress from there and help these guys out a bit more as well with our team.
Back in that spacious hospitality, the head of MSV, Jonathan Palmer, former Formula One driver. We know he's a big fan of sidecars. He was deeply involved, even to the point of climbing in Ricky Stevens' outfit and getting the feel. I know what's going through his head. This is not one bit like a Formula One car, but then it isn't. It's an F1 sidecar outfit. Brilliant stuff. Ricky Stevens just showing him the ropes. Well, the sidecar's forming up here for this one and only race, a 14-lapper at Alton Park. It's going to be important because they've only got the one chance to score points. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson on the L&W Contractors Kawasaki. They know they've got more left. They had a problem in qualifying. If you can swing round, Kenny, over here we've got Tim Reeves and Greg Clues in pole position. Reigning world champion. Had a good run out in the World Championship and Le Mans, but he's only got 20 points coming into this championship. Down here, the Assured Office Solutions B. Weiser Kawasaki of Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, championship leaders, and they think, and they were only 0.4 of a second behind Tim Reeves in qualifying, they think they might have the legs. Approaching now, Sean Hegarty and James Neve, reigning champions in this series, with it all to do, but they've got their Suzuki on the pace. Behind them, Lovelock, a great big grid forming up. It's going to be a cracker. 14 laps of Alton Park, a long way. The undulating Alton Park is going to be a challenge, but Sean Hegarty's got some undulations coming up because he plans to head for the TT after this race. First time in 18 years in the Isle of Man TT for Sean Hegarty, but the reigning British F1 champion will be lining up in the Isle of Man alongside this bloke, Tim Reeves, 5 times and current world champion, sitting nicely in the table at the moment, Tim Reeves, but hoping to win the British Championship as well, if he can possibly in 2015. So it's a massive grid again. 14 laps ahead of these guys. In the top left of your picture, watch the lights go. A packed grid with Old Hall ahead of them. Andy Peach then heading across the front. Oh, very close to Ricky. Oh, very close. Huge contact, a puff of smoke. Ricky Stevens took a big nudge. Sean Hegarty escaped that. He was almost sandwiched between Andy Peach and the pit wall. There's Ben Holland, number 6. Obviously a problem with Andy Peach. Charlie Richardson looking out over the side. Peach is slowing already. Peach is slowing. There's Ricky Stevens. Was that damage on the sidecar wheel? Peach retiring to the grass, so Andy Peach out of it. Ricky Stevens looked to be in trouble. Yes, he is. Damaged. The tyre is burning. The sidecar wheel arch is on the tyre. There's no way that bike's going to be allowed to continue. Charlwood knows it. Ryan Charlwood's hand in the air, so the Assured Office Solutions, B-Wise and Kawasaki, is going to have to give it best here and retire. If they don't pull out of their own accord, they'll be black flagged at the finish, I'm sure. There they are on the grass. Game over then for the championship leaders coming into Alton Park. Ryan Charlwood's frustration obvious. Let's see what happened. Andy Peach then heading, got the nose in front. Yeah, he's got the nose in front, moved across slightly. Ricky Stevens going for the middle. There was no way through there. Sean Hegarty lucky to escape getting tangled sideways in that. Tim Reeves, though, has got the whole shot ahead of Tony Brown and Sam Christie. Hegarty in third. Ben Holland, Lee Watson looking very good indeed. Alton Park is a notoriously tough track on passengers with its bends, its undulations, the G-forces. 17 bends in total, 11 right-handed, 6 left-handed, and a very fast circuit indeed. Reeves then, Gregory Clues on the Team EA Motorsport Kawasaki. Tony Brown, Paymundo.com Kawasaki in second. Third place, oh, there's John Holden. John Holden with Dan Sale in the chair at the moment. We're on board with Ian Guy and Ken Edwards on the L&W Suzuki. Ian Guy having something of a renaissance in 2015, the former Grand Prix campaigner, almost from a bygone era. It seemed Ian Guy has been around for so long, but he's closing now. That's John Holden. Dan Sale's hand was in the air, so the Isle of Man TT winner, John Holden, is having no luck at all in 2015 with a long bike. I say the long bike, the F1, that's what they call these because they are much, much longer than their F2 counterparts. 1000cc, Hegarty is up to second, having gone past the Paymundo.com Kawasaki of Tony Brown and Sam Christie. Sean Hegarty has been tearing his hair out for the first couple of rounds trying to get that Suzuki, that 2013, well, it's virtually a brand new Suzuki engine going well. They just could not get the horsepower on the dyno, but Sean Hegarty Sr. has been working hard, burning the midnight oil. It seems to have come together here at Alton Park for Hegarty. So now, does his season start here at Alton Park? 2014 champion Hegarty, the man from Felixstowe, has clicked really well with the very lanky, very tall James Neve. They have ridden very well together over the past season and a bit. Ben Holland, there is Roger Lovelock. Aki Alto, his Finnish passenger, former champions. Ben Bygrave on the Blue Machinery, Simon Gilbert there. And Steve Kershaw not going as well. Steve Kershaw, Rob Wilson on the number 29 Express Tyres, Blink Body Quarry Kawasaki. Number 29 not going as strongly as I would have expected. Maybe, as we're on lap 3 of 14, they know there's a long way to go. They might even be pacing themselves, if there is such a thing in sidecar racing. Ben Bygrave and Justin Sharp, number 74, looking good together. A good, likeable pair. They go, well, there's Holden and Dan Sale retiring their Suzuki. Holden, another man who's Isle of Man bound after this round at Alton Park. Next time we see them will be at Snetterton after their Isle of Man campaign, so it'll be good to see how those crews get on. No fewer than 5 of our teams from the Hyundai Heavy Industries Series are heading for the Isle of Man. Tony Brown, though, and young Sam Christie, they've clicked. Back at the front, Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. This man is in a class of his own. There's Helen Dealey and Rod Robinson, a newly painted pink fair. And Helen Dealey, the young lady, sustained a massive bruise to her hip as a result of that capsize at Brands Hatch, but she's here. Not in the running, though, now. Only one race here, so they've got to get it right this time. And it is going to be something like a race of attrition, I think, here. We've already got 2 top runners out of the action. Stevens and Charlwood, as you know, on the Assured Office Solutions BYs Kawasaki, they're out. Andy Beach, Charlie Richardson on the L&W Contractors Kawasaki, they're out. Lovelock on the only BMW in the race, number 49. Lovelock and Alto putting up a spirited fight ahead of Ben Bygrave and Justin Sharp. Steve Kershaw, Rob Wilson there, number 29. They're gathering momentum a bit, although having said that, Bygrave's going well. Lovelock too. Lovelock, former champion, of course. He and Aki Alto, since teaming up, have really got into the groove. The only BMW in the race, they're Ben Holland and Lee Watson on the Finning Cat Kawasaki. Their season has yet to gather any momentum whatsoever. They've had all sorts of problems, and this circuit at Alton Park, notoriously tough on passengers. We've already got 1 or 2 retirements, and as the race goes on, I fully expect to see 1 or 2 of the others slow down. Oh, look at that. Even Justin Sharp, they're not fully where he needed to be. No criticism of his ability. That is a very quick left-right there. So in many cases, the passenger has to stay neutral rather than do the extreme. Just as they are doing at the moment, you can see there. There's no time to get out left because you've got to get out back out right again very shortly. But Bygrave now showing his nose to Lovelock and getting alongside as they come over Hilltop and pinching the slot. Ahead goes Ben Bygrave. Brilliant. At the chicane. Through they go. Let's follow them round. Bygrave again with that wheel just waving in the air. Great stuff. Up and over Clay Hill they go. This is about 130 miles an hour at this point as they approach the right-hander of Druids. Through they go. Bygrave, Lovelock, Aki Alto on lap 4. A long way to go. Now the undulations as they approach the bend at Lodge. It's a right-hander where there's a wonderful overtaking opportunity. Kershaw eyeing up Lovelock. Is there a way past for Steve Kershaw? Welcome back to Alton Park for round 3 of the Hyundai Heavy Industries British F1 Sidecar Championship in association with the Molson Group. And we have a scrap at the front because Sean Hegarty is within 2 seconds of race leader Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues. There you can see Reeves. There's Hegarty. He's really got his act together this weekend in Cheshire, and it bodes well for the future, I have to say. Wait till we get to Snetterton, where it's unbelievably quick and flat. Not unlike this at all. Simon Gilbert and Carl Morgan retiring. Now, that looks to me like passenger issue. Carl Morgan, one of those passengers here, not having had a full season, just might not be able to cope with the bends. Lee Watson out of it as well. They're coming in thick and fast. This is Bygrave, Ben Bygrave and Justin Sharp retiring. They've had impact. They've had contact on the front. So there's been an incident there to the Blue Machinery Suzuki, which we did not see. Ian Guy and Ken Edwards, though, they're also bringing it home slowly. Is there a problem here? Obviously is. Ian Guy stopping out of harm's way. Ken Edwards has what looks like his left hand. Yes, it is. There's absolutely no way he's going to hang on. The left handle has come adrift, so they've had to give up as well. That is cruel, cruel luck for that to break just like that. Reeves, though, at the front. There's Hegarty. Now that gap's something like 4 seconds as they come down towards Lodge. Round Lodge, that they drop down the hill and up Deer Leap across the grid that they use for the cars here. We get a great big 4-wheel grid here, I can tell you. There's Hegarty. Hegarty and James Neve looking composed now and steady on a lap 11 of this 14-lap race. Reeves disappearing out of sight down to Cascades. At the left-hander, he's at it now. And there's Hegarty. You can see now the speed. They're about a second slower on lap speed from the reigning world champion. Here they come towards Island Bend. They're at Island Bend. And then ahead of them will be the right-hander. Oh dear, Rupert Archer out of the running. So Rupert Archer, what a pity. New passenger Del Boy, Dean Kilkenny, His first experience with Rupert Archer, a disappointment, and it looks as though that's Rob Wilson. So Kershaw too is out of it, putting the outfit. I don't think there's been an incident there. It's just a breakdown, just pushing it safely. Steve Kershaw obviously will still be in the bike. So retirement's now coming thick and fast as Tim Reeves and Greg Clues gallop on to victory here at Alton Park. But further down the order, all sorts of names are now into the big points. People like Brian Gray on the Yamaha, the veteran from High Wycombe. He's well in the points, and you'll see that when we get to the end of the race. Hopefully we'll get a look at Brian Gray as well. He and young Ben Ransley have clicked. They're going very well together. Hegarty's closing though, 4.4 seconds. Having said that, I think Tim Reeves has got this one under control. Sean Hegarty and James Neave. In third place it's still Tony Brown, Sam Christie. Then it's Roger Lovelock, Aki Alto. 2 laps to go. We are on 12. And James Neave, big, strong, burly passenger, doing a great job. Well, there's Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes, one of the new boys, and I mentioned them in the standings. They've ridden really, really well, coming up from the Bempsey Series for their first punt at this top flight F1 competition. From Stourbridge in Worcestershire, Martin Kirk, Ben Hughes, his diminutive passenger. What a great job they're doing. Look how nicely they're turned out as well. Really, really smart. Matching leathers, matching helmets. Ahead of them, Gary Horspoll and Jimmy Connell, who is still struggling with a bad arm. There is Brian Gray and Ben Ransley, number 7. So these lads having a real battle and about to be lapped by the race leader, Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Brian Gray, vastly experienced, knew when to get out of the way and did exactly that. Not sure Martin Kirk will have experienced the same sort of speed at which Tim Reeves will come by him when he goes to lap, so Tim Reeves will know he's got to be a bit circumspect passing these guys because they might not know he's coming. He'll have to pick his moment. You can see inside Horspoll goes Reeves. Next time round he will be on his last lap. Out goes the foot of Greg Clues. Martin Kirk, Ben Hughes doing a great job. And now Brian Gray past Horspoll, Gary Horspoll and Jimmy Connell. In fairness to Connell, the Scotsman, he still has not recovered from that shoulder injury. So this is a brave, brave ride from Gary Horspoll's passenger. They're going to bring it home though. They've only got a lap to do. Ben Ransley with Brian Gray. Fantastic performance from these two. This is the best I've seen Brian Gray go in a British Championship race for a long, long time. Horspoll still chasing. Horspoll just might think that he can have another go here. He's alongside Brian Gray and he's got his nose in front and he's going to make it stick. Yes, he does. By goes Gary Horspoll. So Jimmy Connell's probably thinking, oh, no, don't do it again to me, Gary. You know, that's it. And if that's a bad impression, then I'm sorry, Jimmy. You can hit me next time you see me. But look at Martin Kirk. This will be an absolutely fantastic result for the number 58. If he can stay ahead of Gary Horspoll, he'll be doing himself a power of good. This is the battle for 5th place. Kirk has got it, Horspoll wants it, is about to take it. There are only 10 runners left in the race, and I can see Hegarty coming as Horspoll goes by to grab that 5th spot from Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes. Brilliant, brilliant ride. With Jimmy Connell, as I say, feeling the pain from that shoulder, but he's got 5 weeks now to recover before we go to Snetterton. There's young Ben Hughes. What a super job he's done in there with Kirk. Andy Sloan, Andy and Phil Sloan still very much in the running. So they're in good points here, the Sloans. Are they in 10th place and on for 6 points? All will be revealed as Tim Reeves, Greg Clues on their final lap, go down Deer Leap over the top, sprint towards the flag. The checkered flag will come out. It's a 25-point maximum here for Tim Reeves. He'll march on up the table, but I can tell you now, he won't be top. Andy and Phil Sloan, they'll be pleased they haven't got another lap to do. Hegarty then in 2nd place. Behind them, of course, Tony Brown and Lovelock, but Brian Gray has got the better of Martin Kirk, so he looks like he's claimed 5th place. That is sensational. There's the victor, though. Nearly a 25-minute race at 93.15 miles an hour. Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's get confirmation of the podium. Reeves, Hegarty and Brown, Lovelock, Brian Gray, Ben Ransley. Sensational for them, 5th place. Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes ahead of Horsfall and Connell. They drop back, obviously Jimmy Connell's shoulder giving him jet. McLaurin, Holden and Andy Sloan, bottom of the pile. Look at the DNFs, a whole raft of them. Just about 50% of the entry wiped out for one reason or another. Let's hope when we get to Snetterton, they can stand the pace a bit better than that, mechanically and physically. Tim Reeves, Greg Clues. Tim, a long time coming. This was a long wait for this one race, but Alton Park, brilliant. You did well, commanding win.
Yeah, it's one of the best circuits left in it. It's not been messed about with chicanes and made wider and all the hazards took back. It gives you that real feel of speed. And yeah, we haven't ridden here for 5 years, and it's glad, when the opportunity comes up to ride it, you've got to take it. I really enjoyed it.
I want to say a big thank you to everyone involved in RKB F1, and all our sponsors, and we're looking forward to the next race. Yeah? Brilliant.
When you watch it on television, you don't realise the ups and downs on the cambers. It's hard work.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah, and all the bump, the track is getting a bit rough, but it's still such a wonderful track. Yeah.
Sean Hegarty, James Neave, you've been working so hard to get the bike looking right, and it looks as though you might have made some progress. That was a good race, Sean.
Just tried hard. We've had a lot of help from Ben Birchall, to be thankful. Also, I've got to say thanks to him after everything that's gone on, and he's done my bike for me. Just filled it up, more fuel for this race, and it just seems to be getting better. I'd rather it been started good at the beginning of the season.
James, you were in touch with Tim and Greg in the early stages of the race. It was never more than 3 seconds, but in the end they just went away.
Yeah, we had a few little problems at the end. Sean's fault, they'll admit that. But we were consistent. I think the lap times were consistent. So just another step forward really with the bike and roll on Snetter really.
Tony Brown, Sam Christie for Paymundo.com. A good podium for you. Well done, mate.
That was hard work, Barry. We got a fantastic start. We tried my hardest to stay in front of Sean, and we kept on going round, and in the end there was plus 18. I don't know what happened behind, but we had like 18 seconds gap, so we just backed off and just brought it home in the end.
All hell was breaking loose behind, but you don't
Really?
need to know about that. Sam, you did a great job. This must be tough on passengers around here.
That was my hardest race ever. That was really tough. I saw the pit board was, we had a big gap behind us, but I'll just give Tony a knock and just steady the pace down a little bit so he gets the end, and that's absolutely over the moon with that.
We have a new championship leader. Stevens came here in front. He now trails by 2 points. Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto. The Birchalls hanging on there. They've only done the one ride, but they've got 50. Still ahead of Kershaw. Reeves up the table to 5th place, so good for him. Looking further down the order, Brian Gray is in the big money there at 13. He must be absolutely thrilled. Some big names behind him, that's for sure. Not least of all, Holland and Watson. Well, plenty of drama here at Alton Park. Several new names for you to conjure with in this round. Martin Kirk and Ben Hughes, didn't they come good? Good to see Brian Gray going so well. Good to see the Paymundo.com boys on the podium. And Tim Reeves there where he belongs, at the top of the pile. He's a class act. 2 of them are off now to the Isle of Man TT. We're taking quite a long break before in June, towards the end of June, we are at Snetterton at the 300 circuit for round 4 of this exciting championship. Enjoy your time off. We're going to take a break. See you at Snetterton. Join us, please. Bye-bye.